Hi, my name is Tony Velasquez with Velasquez Paint. How you doing today? I'm here today to show you how to get a beautiful Italian texture here. This texture here is not very hard to do, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. This will cover any defect that you have in your walls, anywhere in your house. This can make your kitchen look beautiful, any walls that you have. And this is the finished product, but I'm going to go through each step to show you exactly how to get this beautiful texture. Okay, these are the tools you will need in order to get that beautiful Italian texture. You will need the paint, whichever color you like. It don't make a difference. You will need sandpaper. You will need a screwdriver. You will need a bucket and a brush, a 3-inch brush. It's better. You also need a rag. You will need a broad knife, a floating pan, and some quick set 20-minute joint compound. And you will also need some beautiful rags to put down whenever you're doing a job, because you want to make sure that you keep everything neat. And I only have this here piece of sheetrock because I'm going to show you the steps that I'm going to go through in order for you to be able to get that beautiful job that I showed you. Thank you. Step 1. You need your quick set, the 20 minutes that I told you about. You need your bucket, put you some water off in it. You need your broad knife, and you need your floating pan. Get you a little bit of the quick set, a little bit at a time, because it dries real fast. You can put it in with your hand, or you can pour it in however you like to do it. And I always like to put about 4 handfuls. And once I put 4 handfuls in, then I'll move the bag out the way. And then I'll get a little water. And you want to put a little water at a time. You don't want to put a lot, because if you put a lot, then you'll put too much water and it'll be too thin. You want to get it kind of thick. So you pour a little water at a time. Get your broad knife. Stir it in with your broad knife. And when you see that all the water is absorbed up, put a little bit more water off in there. Not too much. To get it to like a thickness, like if you was making pancakes, like a pancake batter. And if you put too much water off in there, just keep stirring it up. You can always get a little bit more from out of the bag and mix it off in there like that. And stir it up. Stir it up. And once you got it into a paste like this, this is a real good paste. And then what you do, you grab it on your broad knife like this. And the only thing you do, you can work from the top to the bottom, and you make like a S. And you keep going from side to side, down, side, S, an S, an S, from top to bottom, side to side, an S, an S, an S. Start back at the top, make another S, another S, another S, another S, and another S. And these big pieces, you can go back over one more time to get the bigger chunks out. Just go with your S's. Just an S. And that's all you're doing. You're making S's. And that's it. That's all you do. So I'm going to do this little section right here, and that'll be way more than enough where you can see how this is going to turn out. So that's it with the joint compound. Now we can put the joint compound up. And this quick set, it take about 20 minutes to dry, but really it dries a little bit more faster than that. So by the time you clean up your equipment, it should be dry by the time I clean this out. Now that the quick dry joint compound is dry, let's make sure that it's dry all the way and everything before you put the paint on it. And that it's dry good enough. So now, the next step, we're going to get the paint. We're going to get the paint of our choice. And we're going to get the can opener, screwdriver, paintbrush, in the bucket. Now, if you was doing a bigger wall, I recommend a roller. You want to get a bigger roller to do a bigger wall. But because I'm doing this little area right here, that's the only reason why I'm using just a brush in a bucket. But you want a brush in a bucket, and you want a roller with the extension and drop cloths, and make sure you stay neat with everything that you do. You always want to be real neat. So now we want to open up the paint of our choice. And I always like to poke a hole off in it. And the reason why, what it does is when you pour the paint, it don't run all down. So we're going to pour a little paint. Turn it to the side so it won't run everywhere. And wipe the little excess off so it won't mess up the can. Put the top back on. And kind of move it to the side so it won't get knocked over. Kind of push the top on it and move it to the side. And get your rag. And if you get a little paint on your hand, you can easily wipe it off with your little wet rag. So now what we want to do now, and I always tell people, dip your paint, dip your brush off in your paint bucket and kind of pat it a little bit and wipe the edges like that. Got a lot of painters, they let it drip all down like that, and you don't want to do that. You know, you can be neat with it. So let's push that back up off in there. So get a little bit on your bucket, on your brush, kind of scrape a little bit of it off, and then start from the top and start brushing. And if you had a roller, you'll be rolling it. A little bit more paint and start brushing. And you can brush it either way. Whether I brush from the side to the back, but I want to make sure that I fill in all these little grooves. And you can already see the little textures off in it already. And they're looking pretty darn good. And you just brush it on. And it's starting to look like something already. You can already see the texture coming through already. And make sure you fill in all those little white spots. Every spot that you can see. And it don't take long whether you're rolling it. It's better to roll it. Don't try to brush it if you're doing a big old wall. You know. And me, I like to use a flat paint. I don't want to use an oil base. I want to use a latex flat paint. It dries faster. And you can always go back later and put a glaze on top of it to give you a sheen and give you the durability that you need if you have kids that bumps into the wall or if you have pets or anything like that. And so now that we finished with the paint, you can see the texture. Give it time to dry and make sure that it dries real good, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, now that the paint is dry, the last and final step, we're going to get the sandpaper. And the sandpaper, the best one you want to use a 80 grit sandpaper. I like the 80 grit, and I like the roughness that it has. And I kind of like the the design that it's made in. And so you can fold it like this in the 3 ways. And when you fold it like this, start the sandpaper. That's what's going to bring that pretty white off in it that gives it that Italian look. You don't want to sand on it hard, and you want to make sure that it's totally dry. And then we're going to start from the top real soft, and we're going to come down real soft. And see how it gives it that beautiful Italian look, that white that's off in there. Start from the top over at the other side and just come down. I'm not pressing real hard. I'm pressing soft. And we're going to start from this here edge and we're going to go down. And this is what's giving you that beautiful look. That's what's bringing in that pretty white. And remember now, you can put a glaze on here that will give you a beautiful sheen to it, a shine to it. But if you just like the flat look, and then you can just leave it just like it is. If any dirt or anything get on it, you can kind of wipe it off with a soft rag with some cool, cold water and a little Dawn dishwashing liquid. And that's it. And then you go back with your damp rag and you just wipe off the excess that you see hanging around. And this is what gives you that beautiful look. And see how pretty that is? It gives you that beautiful Italian look. And this is the finished product. And like I said, you can go back and you can put a pretty glaze on there. And the glaze will make it, give it a more beautiful sheen to it. And this is my Italian texture. And my name is Tony Velasquez. Hope that you like it. And if you would like to order a video, just read the rest of the screen and it'll give you all the information that you need. Thank you very much, and I have another one coming out soon.